So we are back with the horse, the myth, the legend himself, Floki, right? And this is the Bridleless Liberty Challenge, AKA the Bridleless Driving Challenge, AKA the Liberty Driving Challenge. Back at you with the man. What is it called?
Driving Challenge, you made it up.
Oh yeah. So we are back with the horse, the myth, the legend, Floki, for the Bridleless Driving Challenge. And you guys saw how awesome that he was last time in his last video, where we showcased picking up the cart for the first time, introducing him, circling him around the cart. That was pretty cool too, right? You know, I'm in a mood today. I don't know why. My wife's behind the camera just looking at me. But guys, I'm just trying to be real with you. I want to show you the excitement and the fun that I have every day with my boy Floki, because to me, he is a legend. Just look at him, look at his face, and you are going to see his amazingness of who he is. And this, my friends, is what is going to make the magic happen. This face. Anyway, I'm going to get back to teaching you guys how to drive bridleless. And the next step is actually teaching Floki how to get into that space for the cart where he can learn that things touching him and being comfortable in that space is going to be worthwhile and safe for him. And I've never actually done this before, and I'm just going to be real honest with you guys. So I really didn't even have a strategy up until a couple minutes ago when I was talking to my wife, and she's like, how are you going to do it? She's like, I don't know. I was like, well, she's like, well, maybe you can back him into it. And so that's what we're going to try first. We're going to try backing him into it. I know what I would do with the halter on, right? I would probably back up to him, really approach, retreat, get him comfortable. But you guys are going to get to see me think through this whole thing with my boy Floki. As you can tell, no ropes in terms of this is the only steering that we'll have for when we're actually driving him, because this will be his brakes. If we don't have brakes, you know, we're kind of in trouble. So instead of the bridle, I just replaced it with this little rope here. So again, before we get in, I just want to make sure that Floki will back up straight off of that neck rope, which he does. Because again, Floki is a legend. And as my wife gives me the biggest look to say, stop saying Floki's a legend. But he is. Okay, so I'm going to get him, again, making sure that he's comfortable with this. And I'm going to see if I can straighten him up. Let's go forward a little bit. Good. Good. So you see, Floki's a little bit uncomfortable with this whole idea. So I'm just going to rub him here. I'm not going to make it that big of a deal. And then I'm going to see if I can back him up into this. I don't know if I can, and we'll adjust the strategy accordingly if we need to, right? Because again, Floki is kind of worried just a little bit of being really close to this. Okay, so we're going to try it again. I'm going to ask Floki to come up. Good. Because you see how he just keeps walking over that? You see how he's like, he doesn't want his butt directly to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if you can just step over it, step through it, even walk forward through it. Good. And I have a rope on right now, but I don't need one. Right? It's just around his neck. Because anytime my horse gets worried, I want them to find comfort. So yeah, we went in the wrong way, right? I mean, we are obviously in the wrong way of the cart. But horsemanship 101 is help your horse understand in the best way possible. So then I'm going to try to back him up out of here. Say, can we back up? Yes. Good. Good. And then I'm going to walk forward one more time into it. And I'm going to try to get to this other side so that you guys can see a little bit better. And I'm going to ask him to walk into it. All right? I'll even be like, hey, look, buddy. Here's a little cookie. And again, I don't over cookie, but I do always have cookies in my pocket because I think sometimes it's another nice reward. I don't necessarily do the clicker training, but I do whistle which is also known as a clicker, I guess. But I'm not consistent with one way or the other. I don't really care what method you're using at home. I'm not for or against any style of horsemanship. But for me, I'm just a liberty pusher, and I believe in it so much. As I said before, liberty is not a replacement to any horsemanship. Liberty is the foundation to all horsemanship. I want you to remember that. I want you to write it down. I want you to tell your mom and your grandma and your dad, liberty is the foundation of all horsemanship, because it's the connection through, right, being with one another. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. So we walked in and out pretty nicely. So I'm going to see if he can back up into it. Good. He's trying to just turn, but I don't really want him to turn. I just want to go to this other side here. Floki, thank you, sir. And so I'm going to try it again. I'm doing this side so that you guys can see a little bit better. Good boy. Good boy. And you see how he's just a tad bit worried with it here? So I'm going to ask him just to step up and move that hip just a little bit. And again, so he's just getting a little bit worried with it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the strategy just a hair, right? I'm going to bring this up behind him, and I'm going to see if I can just ask him to stand here, because the backing up really didn't work too well, right? I'm just going to ask Floki to stand. Then I'm going to wheel this behind him. Good. Floki's. Good boys. And I want him really just to think about standing here and getting comfortable. Right? So I'm just going to even like roll this up here, like over him. Right? Really get used to it. As I told you guys, I've never done this in person. I've never done this before with a horse, and there's nobody out there teaching you bridleless driving skills. I've had some friends that have educated me in some areas of driving and what we need, but nobody's done it bridleless that I know of, or at least teaching it to the public. And so I'm just kind of winging with this. I'm going to ask him to stand there, and I'm going to ask to see if I can just wheel this cart around him. Stay, Floki's. He wants to come, so I'm just a little bit close to the camera. I'm going to take this off because we don't need it right now. And again, you guys are just seeing a real life training session, okay? And we're just going to play with some things. Come on, Floki. Come on, Floki's. Good boy. Good. All right, so now I'm going to try all this again. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to come up to Floki. I'm going to ask Floki to stop, right? And just stand there. Stay. Because he knows the stop cue. He knows to stay here. So I'm going to just put this back in the cart here. And I'm just going to ask him to stand still while I move this cart around. Because he's kind of worried about that cart behind him. And there's probably a lot of different ways to get him used to this. Right? Stop. He wants to move. I'm just asking him just to stay there. Good. Then I'm going to try it again. Good. I really want you guys to see this whole thing, because this is the area in which he's struggling a little bit, is just having that cart right behind him. All right? Because I want him to get used to just being right here and being okay with everything that's around him. Good, because his job right now is just to stand there, and he wanted to follow me, right? And he still wants to a little bit, but I need him just to think. I want him to say, just relax with me here, so that he stops worrying about what it is behind him. Because again, this is the hardest step for me. And I think once we're able to get it attached and get it hooked up, I think you guys are really going to be able to see how quickly we can move forward. But if we can't get him relaxed and comfortable with this cart behind him, we're kind of out of luck, right? So again, we're going to try another new strategy. I'm going to ask Floki just to stay there. Then I'm going to bring this cart around him a couple times. Good. As he follows, I really want him just to relax there. And again, the stop cue for Floki is the hardest thing, because he always wants to be with you. He wants to be your friend. He wants to be in your space. Good. And he has to understand that everything is okay. Like, that's the head flick, because he's like, I don't really want to stand here, Dad, but I will for you. Standing here is boring. I don't really want to do it. And then once he gets comfortable with this behind him, right, we'll be able to maybe go to the next step and back him into it. Again, so that's a lot better. Good. If he wants to turn and face me, good boy. He can. And you see how there, I'm just here with this behind him, and I'm rubbing him. Good. Then I'm going to back up, and I'm going to bring the cart around. So this is just helping him understand to stand there, to find that relaxation with this cart. And I'm just going to make a pattern of it, right? That me coming up behind him with this cart straight, and there's nothing for him to worry about, right? So again, now I'm just going to have it here. Good. Now I'm just a little bit closer. So instead of having him backing up, you see how I'm just bringing this cart into him? Good. And he's licking and chewing. And then I'm going to come around. I know, Floki. I know. I know you want to come. So I'm going to back him up. Good. And just let him know, hey, I don't want you to come yet. I appreciate you, but I don't want you to come. And all this stuff is just working on that stop cue. It's working on that connection. It's working on him understanding that I don't really want him to come yet. And then we're going to bring it back around. I'm going to tell Floki he's a good boy. And then I'm going to see if I can just position this cart just a little bit. Good. And I'm going to ask him, good, to, there, I want it to touch him. You see now it's touching him. And I'm going to give him that little cookie there. Good boy. So I'm going to back out. So we got a little bit worried there. And I'm going to ask him to stay again. And if he doesn't, right, I'm just going to keep walking. And then I'm going to back him up. Good. Then I'm going to try again. Because again, this is all at liberty. There's nothing that can force him to stand. Because he's just moving with me because he's a little bit uncomfortable with this cart. So I'm going to walk around again. Good. I'm glad you guys are seeing this because this is the reality in which we live. He didn't want to stop to stand still. He didn't want to stand there, right? So the horse must have a good stop. This horse has a lot of go, right? He has a lot of forward. But for me, he did not want just to stand still because he's a little bit bothered with this cart coming up behind his butt. So I'm going to bring it in here again. I'm going to rub him. Good. We're going to let him smell it. Yeah. And I'm going to give him another little cookie there. Right? Because again, that's the reward, right, for him just getting used to this in that space. Good. So y'all see how we went from one strategy to another by him just learning that he can stand here, not be worried. Thank you. And that he can find comfort with this whole cart. Right, because this cart is a lot. It's not an easy thing to get used to. But you see, I'm just walking around with the cart, letting them get used to this. And this is where I'm going to spend a lot of time over the next few days, next few weeks, of just getting them really comfortable. Because I got everybody asking me, Patrick, when are you going to start Floki driving? Well, I'm going to start Floki driving when I can get him really good with this cart and comfortable with the cart, because I think this is going to be the most difficult part. Good. Good boy. That's it. So I'm going to give him a little cookie there. Again, I'm not against or for cookies all the time. You don't have to have cookies with this. But you see now, he's starting to get really comfortable with that. Good. And he's backing up into it himself. Good boy. And so I'm going to lay it down there. Good boy. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring it down. I told you guys, legend. And then that's where we're going to quit it for this session.